दास ठाकुर की
जय।
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्रीद्विधाधर शिवासादि गौरव भक्तवृंद की
जय।
गो प्रेमानंदे
हरि
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 हरि बोल।
all glories to Sambhu devotees, all glories to
Hare
Sambhu
Krishna,
devotees.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो
Om Namo
भगवते
Bhagavate
वासुदेवाय।
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
ओम
Namo
नमो
Bhagavate
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
Om
नमो
Namo
भगवते
Bhagavate
वासुदेवाय।
Vasudevaya.
Thank you, Krishna. Welcome back to Srimad Bhagavatam class. Reading from Bhagavatam, first canto, creation, chapter 5, Narada's instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam, and today's verses 5 to 9. Verse 5, Vyasa Vacha, Asyeva me sarvamidam tyoyoktam, tathavi na paridushyate me, tanmula avyakta agada bodham, pruchamahe Twatma bhavatma bhudam. Vyasa vacha asyeva me sarvamidam tvayoktam tathavi na paridushyate me tanmula vyaktam agadabodham puchamahe twatma bhavatma bhudam. Vyasa vacha asyeva me sarvamidam tvayoktam tathavi natma paridushyate me तन्मूलो व्यक्त गो अगाध बोधम पृच्छामहे त्वात्मा भवात्म भूतम. सजमा जी.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अस्तेव्य मे सर्वविदं तयोक्तं तथा विना परिदुष्यते मे तन्मूलव्यक्तम् अगाधबोधं पृच्छामहे त्वम् आत्मभवात्मभूतम्। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण. नरेंद्र जी.
हरे कृष्ण। व्यास उवाच अस्ति एवा मे सर्वम् इदं त्वयोक्तं तथापि नात्मा परितुष्यते मे तन्मूलम् अव्यक्तम् अगाधाबोधं प्रचामहे त्वात्मा भवात्मा भूतम्। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण. स्निग्धा जी.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
It came just towards the end only. Yesterday came, no?
Yes, Prabhu
Just in
ji.
a flash only.
Because I was traveling and when I reached home, immediately I joined up, but it was
Yeah, only 2 minutes only you were there.
yes, Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. व्यासोवाच तस्यैव मे सर्वमिदं तथापि तात्मा परितुष्यते मे तन्मूलमव्यक्तमगाधबोधं पृच्छामहे त्वात्मभवात्मभूतम्. May I read the synonyms? Vyasa uvacha said, Asti, there is, Iva, certainly, me, mine, Sarvam, all, Idam, this, Tvaya, by you, Uktam, uttered, Tathapi, and yet, Na, not, Atma, self, Paritushyate, does specify me, unto me, Tat, of which,
may only. May.
may, unto me, Tat, of which Mulam, root, Avyaktam, undetected, Agadhabodham, the man of unlimited knowledge, Prachetamahe, do inquire, Tva, unto you, Atma Bhava, self one, Atma Bhuvam, Bhutam, offsprings. Translation: Sri Vyasadeva said, all you have said about me is perfectly correct. Despite all this, I am not pacified. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction, for you are a man of unlimited knowledge due to your being the offspring of one Brahma who is self-born without mundane father and mother. Purport: His Divine Grace, ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. In the material world, everyone is engrossed with the idea of identifying the body or the mind with the self. As such, all knowledge disseminated in the material world is related either with the body or with the mind, and that is the root cause of all despondencies. This is not always detected, even though one may be the greatest erudite scholar in materialistic knowledge. It is good, therefore, to approach a personality like Narada to solve the root cause of all despondencies. Why Narada should be approached is explained below. Hare Krishna.
Text 6. Savai Bhavan Veda Samasta Guhyam Upasido Yat Purusha Puranam Paravaresho Mansaiva Vishwam Srijadhyavatyati Gunai Sangam. Savai Bhavan Veda Samasta Guhyam Upasido Yat Purusha Puranam Paravaresho Mansaiva Vishwam Srijadhyavatyati Gunai Asangam. Savai Bhavan Veda Samasta Guhyam Upasido Yat Purusha Puranam Paravaresho Manasaiva Vishwam Sajadhyavatyadi Gunai Rasangam. Sailaja Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Savai Bhavan Veda Samasta Guhyam Upasido Yat Purusha Purana Paravaresho Manasaiva Vishwam Sujatyavatya Gunaira Sangha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Maji. Jai Shri Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी सवै
Hare
वेद
Krishna.
समस्तगुह्यम् सवै भवान् वेद समस्तगुह्यम् उपासितो यत्पुरुषः पुराण परावरेशो मनसैव विश्वं सृजत्यवत्यति गुणैरसङ्गा हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Snigdha Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Savi Bhavan Veda Samasta Guhya Upasito Tat Purusah Purana Paravaresho Manaseva Vishwam Srujatyavatyati Gunair Sangaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Virendra Maji.
Hare Krishna. Save Bhavan Veda Samasta Guhyam Upashito Yat Purusha Puranaha Paravaresho Manaseva Vishwam Shri Jatyavati Ati Gunair Asangaha. Hare Prabhu.
Please.
Sa, thus, where, certainly, Bhavan, yourself, Veda, no, Samasta, all inclusive, Guhyam, confidential, Upasita, devotee of, Yat, because, Purusha, the personality of Godhead, Puranaha, the oldest, Paravareshaha, the controller of the material and spiritual world, Manasa, mind, Eva, only, Vishwam, the universe, Srijati, creates, Avati Ati, annihilates, Gunehe, by the qualitative matter, Asangaha, unattached. Translation: My Lord, everything that is mysterious is known to you because you worship the creator and destroyer of the material world and the maintainer of the spiritual world, the original personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. Purport: by His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. A person who is 100% engaged in the service of the Lord is the emblem of all knowledge. Such a devotee of the Lord, in full perfection of devotional service, is also perfect by the qualification of the personality of Godhead. As such, the eightfold perfections of mystic power, Asta Siddhi, constitute very little of his godly opulence. A devotee like Narada can act wonderfully by his spiritual perfection, which every individual is trying to attain. Srila Narada is a 10% perfect living being, although not equal to the personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. 7. Tvam Paryadanarkaiva Trilokim Andascharo Vayuriva Masakshi Paravare Brahmani Dharmado Vrade Snadasya me Nyunamanam Vijakshva Tvam Paryadanarkaiva Trilokim अन्तश्चरो वायुरिवात्मसाक्षी परावरे ब्रह्मणि धर्मतो वदै स्नादस्य मे न्यूनमलं विचक्ष्वा सरिजमाजी
हरे कृष्ण ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय त्वं पर्यटन्नर्थ इव त्रिलोकीं नश्चरो वायुरिवात्मसाक्षी परावरे ब्रह्मणि धर्मतो वदै स्नादस्य मे न्यूनमलं विचक्ष्व हरे कृष्ण
जय श्री माजी
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय त्वं पर्यटन्नर्क इव त्रिलोकी मन्दश्चरो वायुरिवात्मसाक्षी परावरे ब्रह्माणि धर्मतो व्रते स्नातस्य मे न्यूनमलं विचक्ष्व हरे कृष्ण
कृष्ण मिलिंदमाजी
हरे कृष्ण त्वं पर्यटन अर्क इव त्रिलोकीम् अन्तश्चरो वायुरिवात्मा साक्षी परावरे ब्राह्मणे धर्मतो व्रते स्नातस्य मे न्यूनम अलम विचक्ष्व हरे कृष्ण
स्निग्धमाजी
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय त्वं पर्यटनार्क इव त्रिलोकी मन्तश्चरो वायुरिवात्मसाक्षी परावरे ब्रह्मणि धर्मतो व्रतेः स्नातस्य मे न्यूनमलं विचक्ष्व synonyms tvam your goodness paryatan traveling arkah the sun eva like trilokam the three worlds antahcharah can penetrate into everyone's heart vayu eva is good as the all pervading air atma self realized sakhi witness paravare in the matter of cause and effect brahmani in the absolute dharmatah under disciplinary regulations vratehi in vow snatasya having been observed in me mine nudnam deficiency alam clearly vichaksha search out translation like the sun your goodness can travel everywhere in the three worlds and like the air you can penetrate in the internal region of everyone as such you are as good as the all pervasive super soul please therefore find out the deficiency in me despite my being absorbed in transcendence under disciplinary regulations and vows purport his divine grace ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय transcendental realization pious activities worshipping the deities charity mercifulness non-violence and studying the scriptures under strict disciplinary regulations are always helpful Hare Krishna
verse 10 श्रीनारदवाचा भवदान अनिदिप्रायं यशो भगवतो अमलं येन वासो न तुष्येदा मन्ये तद्दर्शनं किरम् श्रीनारदवाच भवदा अनिदिप्रायं यशो भगवतो अमलं येन वासो न तुष्येदा मन्ये तद्दर्शनं किलम् सैजमाजी
हरे कृष्ण ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय भवदा अनुदिनप्रायं यशो भगवदोमलं येनैवासो न तुष्येद मन्ये तदर्शनं किलम् हरे कृष्ण
कृष्ण जय श्रीमाजी
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय श्रीनारद उवाच भवदानुदितप्रायं यशो भगवतोऽमलं येनैवासो न तुष्येत मन्ये तद्दर्शनमखिलं हरे कृष्ण
सिद्धाजी
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Narada Uvacha. Bhavatanoodita prayang yasho bhagavato malam yanivasho na tushyeta manye tad darshanam khila. Hare Krishna.
गोविंदमाजी
हरे कृष्ण श्री नारद उवाच भवतानुदिता प्रायं यशो भागवतो अमलं येन वसो न तुष्येत मान्ये तद्दर्शनमखिलम् Sri Narada Uvacha said, Bhavata by you, Anudita Prayam, almost not praised, yasaha, glories, bhagavataha, of the personality of Godhead, amalam, spotless, yena, by which, eva, eva, certainly, asa, he, the personality of Godhead, na, does not, tushyata, be pleased, manye, I think, tat, that, darshanam, philosophy, kilam, inferior. Translation: Sri Narada said, "You have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy, which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord, is considered worthless." Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. The eternal relation of an individual soul with the Supreme Soul Personality of Godhead is constitutionally one of being the eternal servitor of the eternal Master. The Lord has expanded Himself as living beings in order to accept loving service from them. And this alone can satisfy both the Lord and the living beings. Such a scholar as Vyasadeva has completed many expansions of the Vedic literatures, ending with the Vedanta philosophy, but none of them have been written directly glorifying the personality of Godhead. Dry philosophical speculations, even on the transcendental subject of the Absolute, have very little attraction without directly dealing with the glorification of the Lord. The personality of Godhead is the last word in transcendental realization. The Absolute realized as impersonal Brahman or localized Supersoul, Paramatma, is less productive of transcendental bliss than the Supreme Personal realization of His glories. The compiler of the Vedanta Darshana is Vyasadeva himself, yet he is troubled, although he is the author. So, what sort of transcendental bliss can be derived by the readers and listeners of Vedanta, which is not explained directly by Vyasadeva, the author? Herein arises the necessity of explaining Vedanta Sutra in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam by the self same author. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 9. Yada dharmadayascha Munivarya anukirtidaha nadada vasudevasya mahima hyuanvarnida. Yada dharmadayascha Munivarya anukirtidaha nadada vasudevasya mahima hyuanvarnida. Sarijamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। यदा धर्मादयश्चार्ता मुनिवर्यानुकीर्तिता न तदा वासुदेवस्य महिमा अनुवर्णिता। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। यथा धर्मादयश्चार्था मुनिवर्यानुकीर्तिता न तथा वासुदेवस्य महिमा ह्यनुवर्णितः। हरे कृष्ण।
Milindamaji.
Hare Krishna. यथा धर्मादयश्चार्ता मुनिवर्यानुकीर्तितः न तथा वासुदेवस्य महिमा हि अनुवर्णितः. हरे कृष्ण.
Snigdhamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। यथा धर्मादयश्चार्थ मुनिवयनुकीर्तितः न तथा वासुदेवस्य महिमा ह्यनुवर्तितः। Synonyms: yatha, as much as; dharma, adaya, all four principles of religious behavior; cha, and; artha, purposes; muni, varya, by yourself. Thus great says, anukirtitah, repeatedly described; na, not; tatha, in that way; vasudevasya, of the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna; mahima, glories; he certainly; anuvarnita, so constantly described. Translation: although great says you have very broadly described the four principles beginning with religious performances, you have not described the glories of the Supreme Personality, Vasudeva. Purport: His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The prompt diagnosis of Sri Narada is at once declared. The root cause of the despondency of Vasudeva was his deliberate avoidance of glorifying the Lord in his various editions of the Puranas. He has certainly, as a matter of course, given descriptions of the glories of the Lord, but not as many as given to religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation. These four items are by far inferior to engagement in the devotional service of the Lord. Sri Vasudeva, as the authorized scholar, knew very well this difference, and still, instead of giving more importance to the better type of engagement, namely devotional service to the Lord, he had more or less improperly used his valuable time, and thus he was despondent. From this, it is clearly indicated that no one can be pleased substantially without being engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, this fact is clearly mentioned. After liberation, which is the last item in the line of performing religiosity, etc., one is engaged in pure devotional service. This is called the stage of self-realization or Brahmabhuta stage. After attainment of this Brahmabhuta stage, one is satisfied, but satisfaction is the beginning of the transcendental bliss. One should progress by attaining neutrality and equality in the relative world, and passing this stage of equanimity, one is fixed in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. This is the instruction of the personality of Godhead in the Bhagavad Gita. The conclusion is that in order to maintain the status quo of the Brahmabhuta stage is also to increase the degree of transcendental realization. Narada recommended to Vyasadeva that he should now eagerly and repeatedly describe the path of devotional service. This would cure him from gross despondency. Hare Krishna.
Om Anatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya
Namaskar.
Chaturunmedam Yena
Chaturmedam
Tasmai Shri
Jena
Gurave
Tasmai Shri
Namaha
Gurave Namah.
Shri Chaitanya
Shri
Manovishtam
Chaitanya
Sthapitam Yena
Manavishtam Sthapitam
Bhutale
Yena Bhutale.
Jayam Prabhakadam
Yanto
Kim Dadadi
Bhagavatam
Supadam
Kritam
Yom
Saradam.
Vandeham Shri
Eham
Guru
Shri
Shri
Guru Shri
Davadaramalam Shri
Yudavadakamalam Shri
Vaishnavam
Guru and
Sa
Vaishnavamsa.
Rupam
Yudam
Sagarjam
Sakarjagam Sahagana Raguna Ramidam.
Sadvaitam Sadhudam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
Om
Krishna Sindhu
Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Shesha Shunipati Pasha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dhadara Shivasari Purvanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram Ram Hare Hare Vyasa अस्त्येव मे सर्वमिदं त्वयोक्तं तथाविनात्मा परिदुष्यते मे तन्मूलव्यक्तगौद अगाधबोधं पृच्छामहे त्वात्मा अवात्मभूतम् Sri Vyasadeva said, all you have said about me is perfectly correct. Despite all this, I am not pacified. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction. As you are a man of unlimited knowledge due to your being offspring of Brahma, of one Brahma who is self-born, without mundane father and mother. So, Vyasa is now replying to Sri Narada's queries. Sri Narada entered Badriyashrama, where Vyasadeva was staying, was very well received by Vyasadeva, and after being seated comfortably, Narada just smiled at Vedavyas and inquired why he was so despondent, why he was so depressed. You are highly educated, highly scholar, you are a great jnani, having knowledge in every subject under the sky. both spiritual subjects as well as material subjects, Veda Vyasa is very thorough with. And then you have realized Brahman also. So, being a very scholarly person, and also Brahman realize what should be the cause of your depression. Because in preaching of Vedas, Upanishads, everything, two main sections, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda section is there. So, Karma Kanda section, fruitive activities, is basically a product or a path for that, or the medium for that karma yoga is basically body only, body and senses. Satisfaction of body and senses is karma yoga. While jnana yoga is more knowledge oriented. So it satisfies the mind also. So, but that is not enough. You may have reached an intellectual capacity is there, intellectual vibration is there, stimulation is there, everything is there. But unless you really understand Brahman in its functionality, not merely realizing Brahman, but Brahman in its functionality, then whatever realizations which you had is not ultimately going to help. The realization which Vedavyasa is having was described yesterday when it was said that he had actually understood Vedanta Sutra, Acharya Sutra is actually more only a debate or you can say deliberation on the impersonal aspect of the Supreme. And when you are meditating on the impersonal aspect of the Supreme, you need to stimulate. There's no stimulation of your jnana is a intelligence is a. But can take you only to up to one at a particular point only, to a particular level only. Both Karmakanda and Jnanasanda has its limitation in the sense that it is not ultimate getting the bliss of spirituality. You can get satisfaction, yes, but not the bliss. So, Maharishi Narada understood that Vedavyasa, although satisfied with his knowledge he was possessing as well as the Brahman realization, he was not in a blissful condition because he had not given much time for devotion service. So Narada knew that and asked these questions. So Vyasa accordingly started replying here. Yes, what you said is right. Although I have immense knowledge and I have realization also, but still I am not pacified. Something is lacking inside me. Some anxiety is building up inside me. Dissatisfaction is all over me. So you have perfectly understood my case. But I should ask you why I'm suffering like this. It's like Sanatana Goswami asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why I'm suffering, I don't know. People consider me to be a great scholar. Yes. A great minister. Yes, I was all those. But actually, I am a duck. I'm groping the duck as to my real position. What is my real position here? Who am I? So Sanatana Goswami approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and asked about this. So the same dissatisfaction whether Vyasa was having. Sanatana Goswami was a great scholar. He knew all those many languages and was proficient in many subjects. Same way, Veda Vyas also having tremendous knowledge, but ultimately not pacified, and he wants to know the root cause of his dissatisfaction. So, my dear Narada ji, you come in the right time. I was about to go in search of you, and it's nice thing that you are here now. Because you are a person with unlimited knowledge. How come Sri Narada is having unlimited knowledge? Because he's produced or he has evolved, he has come from Brahma, who is self-born. Why Brahma is self-born? Because he doesn't have mutant father and mother. He's coming out of whom? Brahma is coming out of whom?
Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Yes,
Lotus from the lotus from the Garbhodakshaya.
Yes. So that means he doesn't have any mutant father and mother. It's coming from straight from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu only. Of course, Brahma's body is not spiritual as Vishnu's. As Krishna is not, actually, Krishna is having both energies, material as well as the internal also, or external, internal. But he's always situated in his internal energy. At the same time, he's containing this, he has his material, this knowledge, this one energies also, Hiranya Shakti also. So Brahma actually self-born, but he's not the same quality as Vishnu or Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. But Brahma ultimately having great knowledge. So Srila Prabhupada says that in the material world, everyone is engrossed the idea of identifying body or mind with self, which ultimately leads to dissatisfaction. Some satisfaction, of course, will be there when ultimately when we realize that we are Brahman. But when you seek satisfaction through mind and body only, ultimately is the root cause of despondence. The person may be highly knowledgeable, Yadishasara Bhudanam, we say, materially very proficient. great erudite scholar, but still he may not be a very happy person. His dissatisfaction may be underlying that, it may not have surfaced. So he may not be able to detect the deficiencies in him. But Vedavyas is totally realized person. So he knew he is having dissatisfaction. It's not completely satisfied. But because he is very fortunate, he is now having association of Sri Narada. And to Sri Narada, he is asking these questions ultimately. Why Narada should be approached? The reason is given in the next verse. Savai bhavan veda samasta guhyam vasido yat purusha puranam paravaresho manasaiva vishwam sajatyavatti gunaira sangam. Because everything that is mysterious is known to you because you worship the creator and destroyer of the material world and the maintainer of spiritual world, the original personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. So before that, before this, Sri Narada had praised Vedavyas, saying that you are son of Parashamuni, the greatest, very great person, very great scholar, Parashamuni. Having great lineage, Vedavyas having great lineage in the form of Parashamuni, knowledge of all the Vedas, and realization of Brahman. But Sri Narada is son of Brahma, who is a worshipper of the Supreme Personality Godhead. I mean, Sri Narada is also a worshipper, or is a son of Brahma, but worshipper of the Supreme Personality Godhead. So compared to Vedavyas, Narada is high level. Why? Because he is the worshipper of Supreme Personality, and who is Supreme Personality? Paravaresho. He is a creator of both material and spiritual worlds. He is a maintainer as well as the destructor of the material universe, but he is continuously maintaining the spiritual world. Spiritual world is continuous. There is no cycles like creation, maintenance, and destruction, which is happening in material world only. And that Narada is actually also an avatar of that Supreme Personality. So Narada is Samasta Guhyam. Samasta Guhyam is completely knowledgeable of everything. Guhyam, confidential knowledge. He is having the confidential knowledge. Because of this is worship of the Supreme Personality. And since Sri Narada is the epitome of devotion. Like repeatedly we are saying in the classes, Sri Narada is the greatest devotee, always traveling around, always trying to bring more and more people to Krishna. So that is a service to Krishna. Always go around the material worlds and pick up the fallen souls. So that is why the position of Sri Narada is very much praised in the various cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he can act wonderfully in his spiritual realization. So that's why he has so many disciples. His disciples look forward to him for their deliverance. So Narada is very, very worshipful. And again, Vedavyas again glorifying Vedavyas, Sri Narada in the next verse also. Tvam paridanartha iva triloking andascharo vayuriva asakshi. Which means he's like a sun. He's all pervading. He's approaching everyone. Like sun. And like air is entering everywhere. Air can enter into even the minutest place. Same way, Narada can enter into hearts of devotees and give the necessary guidance. Paravade Brahmani, no matter cause and effect, Brahmani, absolute. And the Supreme Brahman is a Para Brahma, Paravade Brahmani. Here, dharmata is one word is dharma. Dharma is there, and dharma actually here means vrata, by rules of vrata, a method. Normally we say yoga, but dharma here can substitute yoga. Dharma actually means the tool by which it can be understood. So, H.G.Satyavrta is quoting from Yajnavalkya Smriti to support this view. Ijjacharatam shinsha dana swadhyaya karmanam ayam tu paramo dharmo yad yogatma darshanam yogenatma darshanam. The supreme dharma by which method one can realize Atma consists of worship, proper conduct, control of the senses, non-violence, charity, study, etc., etc. Which means it will get everything for a realization. This is called Yajnavalkya Smriti. Snadasya me nyunam alam vijaksha. Snadasya means being absorbed. Because only Narada, with his immense knowledge, and because it can enter into everyone's heart like air. And so, Vedavya says, since you have this ability, since you have the quality, then you can enter mine also and find out what is my defect, why I am depressed. So, very nice way of glorifying. He says to Naradji, you are like a sun, you are traveling everywhere, spreading light. And you are like air also, you are entering everywhere, everything. And when you enter the heart of everyone, we can know the limitation of the person, what is actually suffering from, what is his problem. So Veda Vyas says that Narada, since he's having this quality, can find out what's wrong with everyone. So like that way, you also please tell me what is the cause, what is my deficiency by which I am now suffering. So is really glorifying Sri Naradaji. And the next verse, Sri Narada starts replying. He says, okay, you ask me what is the cause, what is your cause, why you are suffering like this, why you are despondent. You have asked the right question. Narada is very happy. So I'll tell you what is wrong with you, why you're dissatisfied. Bhavada anidena prayam yasho bhavadamalam yene vasanatu sheda manye tadashnam kilam. Kilam means very strong, it's inferior. Sri Narada said, you are not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of personality of Godhead. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental sense of the Lord is considered worthless. Yenai vasana tusheda manye taddarshanam kilam. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. So, bhakti actually means prema. Prema means satisfying the senses of Krishna rather than satisfying our own senses. So, anything that is not satisfying Krishna's senses can be considered as worthless. So, Sri Narada is saying, I can tell you the reason, because you're not broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of Supreme Personality. So, although Sri Narada, Vedavyasa had realized himself, the Brahman realization is there, still he had not actually understood the real position of the Atma. Okay, he's Brahman realized, impersonal Brahman realization is there, but he has actually not understood the real position or the real quality of Atma. So to that extent, his realization was improper, and or we can say incomplete. And because Atma is a part and particle of Krishna, Atma can be satisfied only when it is engaged in its natural position of being a servant. So the relationship is between eternal master and eternal servant. And here only, in the devotion service only, can get the satisfaction. Savepum saparadharmo yatha bhakti ahoche
अहेतुके अप्रियत
yenatma suprasidadi. So when the Atma will be really satisfied, steeped in happiness, or we can say glory, or we can say bliss, only when it apply itself in its position and start rendering service. Otherwise, if you are only Brahman realized, we may have some satisfaction. But that is not pleasing to the soul itself. The soul will be happy only when it renders service to Krishna. So whether we are not described it fully. Yes, described some parts. Yes, that's right. In some Puranas, like Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, you have a great description of Golo Vrindavan. Everything is given there. But even then, he is not getting the satisfaction. Why? It is because in next verse, Srinada is saying, Yada dharmadyaschartha munivarya anuvidida, na tada vasudevasya mahima hi anuvarnida. Okay, you have glorified to some extent, but not anuvarnida. Anuvarnida means repeatedly you should. You have given focused more on the Purusharthas. In between, here and there, you have described the glories of Krishna. Yes, true. Like you said in Purana, it is there. To what extent you have described Krishna? Because as a bestower of mercy only, so bestower of liberation only, not the bestower of bliss. So how can you be happy when you should give the full importance, full focus on Krishna and not partial thing that we have done? But Vedavas is saying, okay, but I have given importance to bhakti also. I've given more importance to bhakti also rather than mukti. Especially when it is coming to Krishna's case. In other Puranas, of course, we know Puranas, they have all the five Pancha Devas there. Vishnu is there, Shiva is there, Durga is there, Ganesha is there, Sun is there, everything is there. But even then, I have given more importance to Krishna. How so? Purana is written that Anyatra Punyatirteshu Muktir Eva Mahabhalam Mukte hi partaya hare bhaktir madhurayam cha labhyade. Anyatra punyatirteshu muktir eva mahaphalam. In all that transcendental bods, mukti is more prominent, but the Lord can be obtained only in Mathura. And then he says, he has given importance in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. That is say, Brahma Bhuta means, then Prasannatma means what? Prasannatma means satisfied. When the Brahma Bhuta person is always satisfied. But that doesn't mean that he is in blissful state. For being the blissful state, you need anuvarnidam. You cannot simply give some lip type service to Krishna or some amount of bhakti and all that. But it has to be continuous. Anuvarnidam, repeatedly you should do this. He had not done that. He had given some attention, say, some qualification, say, but he has focused more on what? He has focused more on the Purusharthas. Yatha dharmadhyascha artha munivedya anukirtida. Anukirtida means repeatedly he has spoken about Purusharthas, but to the same extent he has not repeatedly spoken of Krishna's bhakti. So, okay, Purushartha, liberation will give Brahma Buddha stage, which is only satisfaction only. But this satisfaction is not the ultimate. This satisfaction is not the ultimate. It's a beginning stage only. It's a beginning stage only. Brahma Buddha Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bodeshu mad bhakti labde param. My supreme, that is my Radha Bhakti, you'll get only when you reach the Brahma Buddha stage. But if you are remaining just simply Brahma Buddha stage, not advancing to Krishna Prema, then naturally you will not get the bliss. And this is what happened to Vedavyas. Vedavyas, since he had focused more on this Purusharthas and less on Krishna, although he has some amount of satisfaction, but he's not fully blissed. And that's why he's despondent. So now Narada will ask him to glorify more Krishna, more and more Krishna only, exclusively Krishna. In this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is exclusively dedicated to Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Any questions? Vancha kalpaguruvischa prabhasandeviyevacha vedanam pavani vaishnavibhyo Nanda Godi Vaishnava